Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things Mecha. Jumpship incoming.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Mobile Armor Radio, episode 12. Man, we've been doing this for a while now.
12?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like 12. It's pretty crazy.
I'm only signing on for 10.
Oh, you're past your, you gotta do a new contract. You're in negotiations.
We added more when we did those, like, sub-episodes. Yeah. That's how we roped you into it.
Yeah, somehow you ended up even more.
But yeah, so, this is Brian leading the charge tonight in the Jumpship.
I'm Chopper.
And I'm Rob, always at the end.
Maybe next year we'll rotate the names so they go backwards or something.
Reverse order.
Yeah.
I'm alright.
But, yeah, we should have a little fun show tonight. It's our 1 year anniversary of recording this show. Hope everyone has been enjoying it so far.
1 year.
1 year.
Well, it's gonna be a clip show.
Yeah. Just a montage of our greatest hits. Yeah. No, we've got
we're
stuff
done.
to talk about.
Oh.
We got stuff to talk about. So with that, I think we'll see you guys in the dropship.
Dropship landing.
All right, and welcome to the Jumpship. This is Dropship.
That's still staying in.
Jumping and dropping. 1 year, you think we'd get it right by now? So welcome to the Dropship, which is where we talk about what we're all working on, like our on the hobby side of things. So I think we'll start tonight with Chopper. What have you been up to?
With me?
Yeah.
Me?
The same. Just still working on my cav. Finished with the tanks, and now I finished with all the what I call the tedious work, tanks and infantry. Now moving on to the robots.
Gotcha.
I took a step forward and I opened up my Prime Nemesis Prime and looked at it and was in my mental, because usually I do these when with model kits. I open them up and then I kind of look at the sprues and I kind of figure out my color schemes and how I'm going to prime and base them. So when I cut them off the sprues, they'll be ready for their highlight colors and stuff. So it's a process.
I think I saw somebody who, like on YouTube, who made one of those. It was the regular Prime version, but the same kit, and it superposable. Like, it was really crazy. It was really cool looking.
I'm very excited for this Nemesis Prime kit. So I'm in the planning stages with that. Looking at the sprues, whether I want to do a black primer, a gray primer, or a white primer kind of thing. I'm probably going to go with a black primer.
Not a Zenith.
Nice.
No, probably with a black primer, and then I'll kind of light blackish up, do a little mix of light gray and black.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I forgot he's black.
Yeah, and then some striking white highlights is kind of where I'm going, I think.
Like a shiny.
Yeah, and then silver battle damage, chrome battle damage kind of thing.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so now that I've worked out the color palette a little bit, I'm going to start putting it together. What else? Oh, I did pick up a Mark II Viper when I was out in California.
Nice.
That damn kit is hard to find.
Yeah.
For some reason. It's always out of stock everywhere else, so I finally got me. So now I have a 1, 2, and a 7. And now I'm going to make 3 launch tube dioramas, and I will never have table space again.
What scale are those in?
132, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're fairly big. If you stood a pilot up, it'd be about 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that the same scale as your, what they called, the bad guys?
The Silent Raider?
Yeah, Silence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same scale as the Silent Raider.
Yeah, so I've seen that kit. That's pretty big.
Nice.
Cool.
So, still 3D printing all the parts to make launch tubes. Now I have to make 3. But as far as mechs and everything else, that's kind of where I'm at.
Nice.
Very nice. What have you been up to, Rob?
Well, as always, I got Gundam loot, and this time it was a it's going to be hard to pronounce this, but it was a Zero Maru Shinkisesho, but it was an SD kit, and I was like, oh, this sucks. And I was like, because it was usually you get an SD kit and a regular kit, so I was like a little upset. But then as I was starting putting, like I looked it over and I was like, oh wait, it's like got multiple different forms, so that you can have it either as an SD Gundam with a Robo Griffin kind of thing, but if you sacrifice both, you can make a pretty cool HG Gundam out of it. So it's a really odd kit, like you end up...
so it's kind of like you put two SDs together to make an HG?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like you're adding stuff onto the SD from that Robo Griffin guy to make them into a regular Gundam. And it ended up really pretty cool Gundam. It was neat. But it was such a weird build. Like, cause usually I glue everything together, but I knew that I can't because I'm going to be taking stuff apart cause I just kind of went, okay, I'm going to start at the beginning and see how this goes together. And it was just like, whoa, it was really weird cause you have to actually build the SD and the Robo Griffin before the instructions make sense to build the HG. So it was an odd experience, but I wish I could have kept that Griffin cause he was pretty cool. But I'm happy with the HG anyways. And he also got a stand with that too, so he's got a nice stand he's on.
Nice. Good. I think they did that in Build Fighters Try.
Yeah, that's what it's from. Yeah.
One of the characters had. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's from. It's a Build Fighters, which obviously I've never seen the show, but so this was a surprise to me. It was a disappointment.
You get a kick out of it.
Well, it was a disappointment, and then it was a surprise, and then I was like, oh, okay, that's not bad. I was nearly like, I'm just canceling this membership. Stupid SD kit.
Yeah, because you signed up for an you get an HD set.
HD, yeah. So yeah, to get an SD. So I was like,
those Gundam loots, they get those different, because I always buy the real grade one.
Yeah. So it was, yeah, so I'm paying for HD kits, so to get an SD kit, I'm like, oh, that's pretty stupid. But then it turns out to be an HD kit anyway, so.
In disguise.
Yeah, it was. It really was. It was like, it was a trick. It was an evil trick by the Gundam Luke guy.
That's true.
Other than that, that's about it. I've been working on, been working on Hellboy and my Star Saga Wave 2. None of those are mechs. So, that's what's been filling my days, slicing my fingers. So that's the only kit I've gotten recently. I do, after seeing that guy build that Optimus Prime, it was of the same kit you have. I was looking up to buy one of those, so that might be something I'll be looking around for, maybe in Chicago, at one of your crazy, what are they called? Hobby stores. I don't get those kind of places around me. So that's something that I'm looking at. Although,
nice. It
is Gen Con, so I'm sure I'll end up with a ton of other stuff to fill my bag, so I won't have room for a kit. This might be the year I actually, I'm just gonna ship stuff home. Cause I do want GKR, and I knew I couldn't fit it last year, but this year I might spring for it. Or try to fit it in my bag, but then I'll just have to throw out all my clothes.
Why don't you just get a giant bag and check it?
Well, I do check my bag, but that box is larger than most checked bags.
No, you can get a big set. Like we have a giant set.
I know. I'd have to just pay extra for the extra bag. Yeah, that's true.
No. I mean, it's the one size. That's just the bag you check, and then.
Yeah, but
most positive
like a giant bag.
Yeah, it's a.
I don't know.
I'll show you some luggage.
You're gonna sell me some luggage.
You'll just have to come over to Evolution Games in Lansing here.
Yeah.
We still got a copy.
You still have Jack stuff from Adepticon, so. Yeah. Yeah, someday make a road trip out there. Because he has to pick up his stuff, so.
Yeah. We got all sorts of events coming up.
Yes, lots of good stuff. But that's about it. Yeah. So, Brian, do you do anything?
It's been a busy month, so a lot more of it has been kind of on the planning side of things. I believe I probably didn't mention it yet because it happened at the end of April, but I finally got my Idlewise from Valkyria Chronicles. It's just a main battle tank that's kind of got a World War II-esque theme. I think I've talked about that game previously. But it's the tank in that game is just sweet. And now I finally have my official model kit for it. I'm really looking forward to putting that together. A little hesitant because it is one where I think I'd have to paint the design onto it. It doesn't come, so like in the game it had like camouflage on it and things like that. So I'd really want to plan that out a bit and get paints actually together. I always get a lot of flack from my hobby group in this area because I don't have the best paints. Some of them are bought at your local Meijer superstore. So
I use like those apple barrel paints and stuff, like the cheap stuff too. Sometimes,
yeah,
they tend to be just thicker. That's all.
Yeah, I am trying to.
I feel like they're pigment deficient.
Well, it's that they put like a thicker. It's not as watery, so that they can have less pigment. I think that's how they get away with it. So it's thicker layers. But,
yeah, lighter colors in particular.
Yeah,
really struggle to layer. Mm-hmm. They don't layer well.
Usually, I just buy like the blacks and browns and stuff for like terrain that way. Like that's
a good way to do that. And then you have to paint in bulk.
Yeah.
Apart from that, with my fantasy mecha that I've been working on, I do think I'm going to go with the full Exia torso and sticking with the Wraith Knight legs, which is a fun combination. I've actually been getting basically like screws to basically make it so I can screw the torso onto the legs, so I can take it apart every now and then. Would make it a little easier to transport, and probably give it something a little bit more solid to hold it straight up. But so the next step for that, I'm actually going to be kind of disassembling what I've got for the torso, which I put a bunch of it already together. I didn't glue any of it, so I'm going to be kind of de-snapping it so I can prime it all white. Because I think that's the blues of Exia is kind of pulling away from that fantasy element. So I'm gonna paint it all white and then kind of do a more kind of classical. I don't know if I like a ceramic kind of bone type look to it. I think will be really really cool looking by the end. So that's that project. I guess I did a couple of things. I did. I know I've talked a bit about the Alita Battle Angel franchise a bit here, and I did decide to finally get around to painting a Dreadball player. Just one for right now. In the style of Alita, there's a figure that was really close by itself, and then I added some other little bits from the Mantic line to give her a little sword and some shoulder pads. Even painted on a little 99 onto her shoulder. So it turned out really nice. I really like it.
She's Wayne Gretzky? Is that what 99? I haven't seen the movie yet.
You should. I think you'd like it.
I know. I just it's one of those things I haven't gotten around to, but I will.
Yeah. I'm chomping at the bit for that thing to come out on home release. Like, feels like it's been forever, even though it's only been like a couple months.
Yeah.
And then, and kind of on that similar note, for this next upcoming, we've kind of got like a monthly painting challenge with the Dreadball Fanatics Facebook page. And the upcoming one looks like it's going to be cheerleader set again for that team, and so I'm going to do kind of the next group of my Macross group. I'm gonna get those guys painted up. Probably gonna do Cheryl Gnome, Ranka Lee, and maybe Neki Basara. We'll have to see what all comes together for that. But I really need to get like a VF1 that can just sit next to them on a stage somewhere, do a little photo shoot. I think that'd be fun.
You can get pretty cheap VF1 model kits. Like they're not too, they're reasonably priced. Like the actual toys and stuff are pretty expensive, but if you just want a model kit, you can get a model kit pretty cheap.
Yeah, I need to. I'll find one. I really like the quite a few of the different jets in that show. All the way through like the VF-25, I think, is the one from Macross Frontier. Is pretty cool looking, and there's always the YF-19. But anyway, that pretty much sums up my hobby stuff. That's sci-fi mecha related. And then I've got all sorts of other things going on.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's always other things.
Yeah, and I think we'll be talking about those very shortly in the ComStar.
Was that a segue?
That was a segue.
Message from ComStar.
And welcome into the ComStar. This is where we talk about all sorts of other kind of media, TV, movies, comics, games, everything under the sun, and some things inside one probably that we are looking into mecha related. So this last month, Rob, what have you been enjoying?
Enjoying.
Is that a strong word?
Well, there was first things somebody on the somewhere. I don't know where I saw it. Anyways, there's a site with Battletech paint schemes, which I was enjoying. It's not the camo specs, it's a better one. It's called unitcolorcompendium.com, and then the link will be in the show notes. But it's the guy who posted it was called Donald Rex Gaither, so shout out to that guy, because it sent me on a new way to look for my color schemes for my Battletech miniatures.
That's good, because that other one was hard to get to use.
Yeah, it was so slow. Camo specs, for some reason, I don't know if they like load every single picture in their database or something. That site was so slow, but this one works great, and I think it might have a little bit more. I like this site, anyways. So that was cool. Also, the Robotech RPG is the PDF is now out on DriveThruRPG, and it's Savage Worlds based. I am not too familiar with Savage Worlds.
I was never a big fan of Savage Worlds.
Yeah, I've heard not great things about it, but people could check it out there. You can. I think it's pretty cheap at on DriveThru if you want to check it out before the hardcover comes out. And the other thing I was looking at online was Osprey Games is doing some beta testing for a new game called mech game called Gamma Wolves. It's miniature agnostic, but they look to be using the Whisper miniatures and some other ones as different size. There's 3 different scales.
Did you say agnostic?
Agnostic, yes. It means you don't have to buy their miniatures. Well, all Osprey games are like that, though, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, called Gamma Wolves, and they do have a Facebook group, so you could check that out, what they're working on there. And that looks interesting. It seems like there's somebody who's talking about it on our Facebook group. There's a bit of math involved with damage, but who knows? Maybe it'll be easier than it sounds, but we'll have to check that out. Always looking for a new miniature game for mechs. It's my eternal struggle to find one that I like. And lastly, I've been playing I bought a really cheap Nintendo emulator from AliExpress. It was like $15 and it has like 600 games. But one of the games is Macross, and it's like an R-type kind of game where you could be you could switch between the modes. And it's hard as hell because all games
it is.
Back in the day were hard, but it's really fun. So I've been enjoying that little game, and
you play like through like different sequences of the show, if I recall correctly.
I don't think this one's that advanced as that.
Okay.
This is just 8-bit. This is like early Nintendo. There's a later one I know that's like Macross Plus, I think it's called. That is much better.
I think there's one like on the Super NES. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's that one. But this one is the same kind of game, but it's more of a side scroll. That one's kind of top down. But this, I think it goes both ways. Anyways, this one is just hard. It's, classic R-type hardness.
Yeah.
And, what else? That's about it, I guess. I haven't watched anything, I don't think. I finished up watching the, what is it? Love, Robots, Death, or whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Love, Death, and Robot.
Yeah.
You were close.
Yeah, I was close. But it was the only real mech one that was really good was that
Suits,
yeah. But the rest there's some good ones, some really bad ones. It was a mixed bag, but not horrible.
I did like that 13 where the Lucky 13.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
the Dropship or whatever.
Yeah, that might be my favorite overall. Actually, that was really good, really well done. Like, it looked great, and also had a nice story to it. So it was kind of fun. And there was that Russian one too, where the Russians were fighting some crazy monsters. That was kind of fun too.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that covers what I've been doing. Who wants to go next?
Chopper, what have you been up to?
Not too much. As far as reading and stuff concerned, I think just been really trying to get through those Transformer comics. Had a really good time with Megatron Origins.
Spoilers.
He originated.
The origin. That's all I was going to say, because I know I was going to make mention that me and Rob have talked about in a upcoming podcast mini.
Well, I've done the Megatron ones out, I believe, but we're going to do the next one. That's why I was afraid you're going to go on to the next one we're going to talk about. No,
I was just going to say which one. Should I not even say which one we're going to talk about?
Yeah, we're going in sort of chronological order. Not of how they're released, but their chronological order as in the world chronology.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it skips around a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one is, what is it, Optimus Prime Spotlight? No, it was not
It's
Optimus.
Autocracy.
Well, before that, the prequel to that is called Orion Prime Orion Pax Spotlight, and then into Autocracy or Autocracy.
Autocracy.
Yeah, I guess so. It's not spelled the same. Which is part of a trilogy.
Roll out.
It's part of a trilogy, and it's kind of like the beginning of the Autobots, and yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about that very soon. Hopefully we get time to record
end of the Autobots, depending how you want to look at it.
Dun, dun, dun.
I guess so.
Depend on what symbol you decide to wear.
Wow. That's
Raise
all
your
fun.
So I've been, when I say power through them, I mean read them. I've actually had some finding the hard time to read, just because I've been super busy with other things.
Life is busy.
Having to go back to California suddenly, and might still have to go back again in July. So I'm reading parts on the plane when I go back and things like that. But I haven't started anything new other than those comic books, because that's pretty much all I have mobile wise.
Okay.
I'm taking it with me. Yeah, that's it. It's just the Transformer comic books. So they're pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong. So if you didn't jump on that Humble Bundle, if you didn't jump on the Hubba Bubba, the Habibi, if you didn't jump on the Habibi, then you missed out on a good set of comic books.
Yeah, but like we say, it's you can definitely find them pretty cheap at Comixology. So go there and buy them and read along with us, because it's fun. And we should actually post. I don't know if we did post it in the Facebook to have a little talk about it. Anybody else reading it, they can put their thoughts in there. But
like a little book club.
Yeah, a little book club.
Did we not? I thought we did.
We probably did, but I didn't. I don't remember. And I don't think we said to anybody.
It's been so long ago.
Well, then we should do that, because that was a good episode.
Yeah. I think we did post it, but I don't know if we didn't ask people to talk about it, so I don't think people did. But we will.
Now is your chance, everyone.
Everyone talk about it.
Talk about it. We'll post it on the
talk
Facebook
about it.
group.
Yeah. But we're definitely going to continue doing that, because it's fun. Yes, we did post it, but nobody talked about it. Yeah.
Bring the hype back to it. Yeah.
Hype it up.
Brian, what you got going?
Well, I've got, let's see, what have I been watching? I kind of got back into the, like the Aliens and Predator universe for a spell. I've been playing the Alien Isolation game, which I only tangentially connect because I don't know if there is or is not a power loader by the end of that game. which is one of the more iconic movie mechas, even if it was just a small one. But on a similar note, actually, as of this recording, there is a new trailer dropped for Terminator Dark Fury.
Yeah, I
or
saw
something
that.
like that.
I don't understand what that's about.
It's the next Terminator movie.
There's a new Terminator movie coming out with James Cameron producing and being directed by Tim Millar, the guy that did the first Deadpool. And so the trailer looked kind of fun. So we'll have to see where it goes because it's a trailer after all, one of the first. So
yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's the end of this story.
Well, it seems very similar to every other Terminator story. The Terminator's come back from the future and she's trying to kill a lady who has some reason to be killed by the future people. And then another Terminator has to protect her. And then
my question is how many people are so tied into Skynet?
Well,
because didn't we kill the guy who did it?
Well, this movie is skipping, it only is, 1 and 2 are the only ones that matter to this movie.
Everything I think 1 and 2 are the only ones that are canon.
Yeah. So it's rebooting it, kind of.
These things are killing me.
Well, the last one was so much like on-screen fan fiction that it was.
Oh, I didn't even watch it. To be honest with
it was hilarious to watch. Like, I kind of recommend it.
Is that Genesis?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think that was better than the other one, but yeah.
But anyway,
3 is the worst for sure.
Which one was 3? Is that with the girl?
Yeah.
Rise of the Machines or something?
Yeah, I think it was Rise of the Machines.
Let's see. Other things that have been going on. More in kind of a news type thing. There was the Lancer tabletop Kickstarter was successfully funded pretty significantly, actually.
Yeah.
Did a pretty decent job with their. I'm going to pull it up right now. It's just in a different tab. Their original request was for like $46,000. They wound up with $432,000 with almost 10,000 backers. So.
Yeah, I think it shows that a mech RPG is wanted. Like it was like it filled a niche that people didn't realize was there. Like because there is a Battletech one, but it's been out of print forever, and now this the Robotech one's just coming out now. But this one seemed to scratch some itches. I backed it, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, go ahead if you back, you might know more.
No, I don't know anything about it. I tried to avoid reading more about it.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm really interested in it. I had to do a pass on the actual Kickstarter part, but a lot of these games these days, I actually, if it's going pretty successfully, I wait for it to come out and I get it at my local shop, because it will inevitably show up there. So I'm pretty excited for that one. I think it was also one that was, I don't know if it was 100% like an original IP, or if it was based off a previous one. But like you were saying, the other ones out there is like Battletech and Robotech. They're like kind of known franchises. So it was really, really neat to see this one, which was a little bit more kind of a different twist on that concept coming out.
Yeah, it seems like it was a labor of love by the creators. They've been working on it for years, like playing amongst themselves, and finally decide to put it out to the masses. And obviously all that work's paid off. They already have, like we said last time, the PDF was like 500 pages already, so it's they've really thought this game through, and they've been working hard on it. It's not like they have to start from the beginning on this. It's pretty much a done product. They just have to. They're getting all new art and cleaning it up and putting it into an actual book, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's why I like supporting those kind of RPG Kickstarters, just because you can tell it's just like these guys. It's something they've wanted to do, so it's kind of nice to. And it was relatively cheap; it wasn't that expensive.
Yeah, and I do like those projects that like it really kind of ooze creativity, kind of like that Borderlands kind of feel to it. But yeah, in some other news, there was, I think since we had talked last, the Code Geass, Lelusa of the Resurrection event happened. I think it had a limited theatrical release in the U.S. and Canada, in May here. I didn't see it myself. It wasn't happening anywhere around me. But it's interesting to see that franchise kind of come back. I don't know what happens in the story, and I won't spoil it for anybody else. But it's interesting that where it sounded like they were continuing the story.
Yeah.
And the original 2-season series concluded pretty solidly. So it was an seemingly odd decision. But it seemed to be pretty well received as far as I can tell. Once it gets more of a home release, I'm sure we'll get more reviews coming in.
Well, it's also the name. I think it confuses people because that name is like, what the hell?
Oh yeah. If you're not familiar with Code Geass, what the heck was the first one was called, like Lelouch Rebellion or something like that?
They couldn't just call it Code Geass the movie.
No. And there was another like Code Geass project in between. Like it's kind of all over the place, but it's a fun show. And actually, as of this recording, Code Geass is on Netflix in the U.S. So nice. If you're interested in a giant mecha show that's got a bit more of just a different kind of twist to it, I definitely recommend checking that out. It does start very much as kind of a real robot kind of show. By the end, it gets a little super with the weapons that they get their hands on, but it's a pretty solid show, especially if you enjoy anti-heroes. It was like The Thing in 2009.
It's true. It's The Thing in my heart always.
But apart from that, I know I'm going to be forgetting something, but that covers a whole lot of it. What I've been doing lately, I've just been wicked busy, so I haven't done as much either.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs that we've all been so busy. It's hard to get anything done. But hopefully the summer's coming, so maybe we'll get more time to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it
would be nice.
Oh, you know what we didn't mention was, Avengers Endgame had some mecha stomping around in it. That happened. We won't spoil that show for nobody.
Did it?
But that did come out.
It did?
They had giant monkey
or at
guys.
least some of the power suits.
Oh, they had power suits for sure, yeah.
I'm trying to remember, did the Hulkbuster show up?
No.
It's kind of the only one that really qualifies.
Yeah, he's a bit bigger. But they did have giant, like monkeys in like powered armor, which that almost counts as a mech. They were quite large.
Yeah.
Why am I not remembering that part?
It's the end battle. You probably wouldn't even notice it. It was
the big battle. Yeah. Spoilers, there's a big battle at the end. So we won't spoil anything, then we talked about the whole thing.
Where'd the monkeys come from, then?
They were the part of the Thanos' group. They weren't real monkeys. They were like space monkeys, but they looked like monkeys.
Oh my god, I don't remember them being in power armor.
Well,
it was a long movie.
It was also overwhelming. It was just like, what's going on? It's so much stuff happening at once.
I mean, I liked it, but I didn't think it was the bomb everyone has said it was, so.
I've liked others more. I agree.
I think this Spider-Man movie is going to be better.
I don't know about that, but
I'm hoping. I mean, so far, the vibes I'm getting from it, I feel like it will be better.
I do like how accurate Mysterio is looking with the dome and everything, so that's cool. And I'm
not a big fan of him being from a multiverse, though.
I think that's a lie, because he's a liar. But I think it's...
You're a liar, Mysterio.
You're a liar.
I'm telling you right now, you're such a liar.
But I do hope, like, at the end, it's just like Wolverine shows up. Oh yeah, I came from another reality, too.
God, don't...
Well, Marvel is partial to doing those kind of hoodwinking type things. I mean, like Iron Man 3, all the trailers were touting this one big villain,
yeah,
and he turns out to not be the villain.
Oh, don't get me started on that. That fucking...
He's an angry man.
And we're moving on. We're done talking about Marvel Universe right now.
Yeah.
You just brought up Iron Man 3. You're going to trigger me.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up kind of what I've been doing as far as entertainment goes. Yeah, and so I think with that, we'll just be moving right on into the MechBay Hanger and our main topic for the month.
Let's hope Pat cools down by then.
Grr. Now entering the MechBay Hanger.
Welcome to the MechBay Hanger, everyone. We've had some time to simmer a little bit, and and so since this is after our first year doing this show and really kind of having this community come around us, we wanted to kind of take a moment and talk a little bit about the future, whether it be the far distant future with jetpacks and stuff, or just the near future and what we'd like to see as far as mecha goes.
Hover cars.
Yeah. So as far as any kind of mecha related things that are coming out that we're really excited for, or even just things we'd like to see in one industry or the other kind of come to fruition. So Pat, why don't you get to go first?
What?
Yeah.
He threw that to you knowing that you didn't have anything. He's a mean person.
No,
I was just alternating.
It's true. So I guess what I'm looking for in the future is I'd like to see more mech games, honestly. With the advent of Alpha Strike and Cav coming around with a third Kickstarter, I'd like to see something else. We put a couple things that were coming around. Maybe there was a Robotech, not a Robotech, Gundam one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to see a little more fruition. I'd like to see, because, I enjoy playing a plethora.
Are you interested in miniature
games.
games or board games?
I'd like to see more miniature game, another miniature game, because right now Cav is great. Just a couple of things I'd like to see change with Cav, but that's for the designer to decide, not for me. It doesn't deter from the game for me. I guess basically what I'm saying is I'd like to see a miniature game come out that's as good. Still, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Realistically or somewhat complicated.
Oh, see, I'm the exact opposite. I want something that's super simple and fun to play.
But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a nice, simple combat system, but everything else, but it still has
a
the
lot of depth
complexity.
to it.
Yeah, depth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm looking for.
Richness to it.
A depth that Cav has and Battletech has. Battletech is a little too much depth.
Yeah.
Cav, I think, has the right amount of depth, but their combat system is a steep learning curve. I'll be honest with you, it's a steep learning curve, and it takes after demoing.
You forgot to mention that
yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, to add on to my whatever segment, I demoed Cav with a good friend of mine, John, who I call him is the Cav champion because he's got a real good knack for the lists and knowing the rules, and I think he's a good champion for that game. He is a great supporter of it, but he's also the same way, on the same line I think with me, that while it's still better than the craziness that could be Battletech, there's the combat system itself in Cav can be a little streamlined. And I'd like to see a little more streamlined combat system for a mech game coming out in a miniature game.
Yeah, that's the problem with that Osprey one that we were talking about, the Gamma Wolves one. Once again, it sounds like it's a little too complex. You shouldn't have to do math to figure out damage. And that's the same with Battletechs like that. There's a lot of games, or you don't also want to be like 40K where it's just you're rolling 8,000 dice just to see what's happening.
And Cav, in a sense, is a little bit that way. It's not as bad as such. You're rolling dice, figuring out the difference between the dice and the number, and then adding all these other things, and then subtracting armor from that, and then you check a chart to see how much damage you do then.
Yeah.
Instead of just that number being the amount of damage you do. I mean, again, that's for the designer to decide, and while the way it is now is not a deterrent for me in the game, I actually still like the game. As a player, that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you want a lot of weapon choices in a game. but it's hard to differentiate all the weapons that they do slightly different things or different damages. Then you have to have huge damage numbers, and then, like, I can understand the complexity of the problem, but I think there is a solution. We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, frankly, I think Mech Zone is one of the better ones because it's just Dead Zone. And but maybe a little, but it is a little too simple, I think. That one's a little, it's on the far end than the simple
It's on the
side.
other end, yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, so it's somewhere in the middle there.
I'd like to see that, a little more miniature games. Board games, I don't know if Mech, actually, now that I think about it, I would like to see, Risk style, Axis and Allies style mech game, either in the Battletech universe or any universe, really.
Yeah, I'm amazed that hasn't been skinned, yeah.
I know there's that game Scythe, but I think that's a lot less about the mechs and more.
It's very much the mechs basically are just transports.
Yeah.
In that game.
I'm amazed actually with
as opposed to being tanks.
With Harmony Gold selling their license to everybody, I'm amazed that somebody hasn't taken it and put it on Risk, or well, I guess it's probably because Hasbro owns all that stuff and they don't want to work with them, I'm sure. So
yeah.
It might be in the works. I mean,
well, they don't have much time. They're losing that license soon, so
yeah.
That should be, like you say, Risk. That'd be so simple to put it on top of Risk and just make it.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd want to see Risk itself. I'd like to see someone actually develop
a game. Actually,
develop a game in that genre. So you get the feel of that world. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Large scale battles, but with still miniatures representing them on a board, maybe on a world or yeah.
I'd maybe even like to see a 15 mil or 10 mil version of.
Well, there is
Battletech or Cav even.
There is Battletech. What is it? Battle Force, I think it's called. It's the small version, but nobody ever plays it, and I'm sure it's super complicated. I've never tried it. Actually, I have the box set. I should read it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pretty complicated. I would almost willing to bet it's complicated.
Yeah, but it is the smaller scale because I know sometimes
now you're talking about just taking lances instead of And I say lances, not stars, because stars are for wusses.
But that'd be. I agree 100% about the game thing for sure.
I kind of so I think that's really. The video games come out, they're great. The next adapt, what do you want to call it? Update for Battletech is going to be nice with the urban stuff.
Yeah.
Computer games, I think, or any of the video games, I don't feel like anything, I'm not expectant I don't know whether it is. I don't think anything needs to come out, or anything that comes out I'm not going to be too disappointed with.
Sure.
Or, in that sense.
You're not too picky at what comes up.
No, as far as that concerned. But, as far as the bread and butter that started this all off is the tabletops and the miniatures. I'm actually looking forward to some of these new factions from GKR also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something that needs to be expanded upon, more GKR stuff. Is there stuff?
There's 4 more down the pipe here.
Nice.
Like Happy Thunder Pharmaceuticals. I'm looking at them right now.
Cool.
Hammer Strike Ammo.
Is it going to be a little smaller expansion sets like you got before, the Sugar and Spice one? Or
yeah, but I think these ones are just individual, so you're going to get the robot and 3 support robots.
That's cool.
So maybe I'll pick these up at Gen Con.
That's Gen Con. Big box.
Yeah. How about you, Rob? What projects are you interested in or hope for in the future?
I actually had on my list like miniature games for sure, like especially that Gundam game that we saw somebody was testing out and was doing a prototype for. They actually were already talking to Bandai about, which is kind of cool. So it's a little farther along. So I'm excited to see that because they do have that other like homemade ones, but you want something that's supported. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because hey, it's even more stuff to buy, right? So they did do that Gundam game. That was a different scale a long time ago, but to get those miniatures now are like so expensive. Like you can't do it. So I also, speaking of miniatures, I don't think it's possible because I think it's part of the licensing deal with Catalyst and Iron Wind miniatures, but Iron Wind does all the metal miniatures. I want more plastic miniatures because those plastic miniatures are so much better than the metal ones. They are so nice that came in that box set. They are great. But I don't think it's possible with the way that they have their licensing worked out. I think they're only allowed to do miniatures in starter sets. I think that's how they did it. So I don't expect to see any more of those. But that's something I would really want to see because I loved them and I liked the more variety. And I find the Ironwind ones are really odd. Like there's so many of them, so you get really odd mechs. Like you're like, why would I want that mech? And though like the ones you want are out of stock kind of thing. So it's like, or hard to find. Plus the Unseen for Battletech, they should be coming back, so that'll be exciting. There's actually a rumor that in the new update for Battletech, the video game, that the Unseen mechs, they said there'll be things that people haven't seen in a long time in the game. So hopefully that includes Unseen mechs. That'd be great if we get like a Marauder or something.
And more puns.
That would be awesome.
And more puns. Also, that Battletech video game, I want them to expand into the inner sphere. Right now it's on the periphery, and I'd love to get more inner sphere battles, like expand the map. That'd be great. Right now, I played it so much that I'm sick of that little area. I'm like, okay, I've been here, I've done this, But to expand the map out so you can all of a sudden fly up to Kurita space and start raiding places or fight some Lao, that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Hopefully that's in the future. I don't know how much they have the ability to do that. I'm not sure if it's a licensing once again, or if it's just that would be hard to do. I'm not sure how what their plans are. But they did the Shadowrun games, and they really expanded on those over the years. So hopefully it's a similar line that we get more and more content. Transformers TV show is coming out next year. That'll be fun on Netflix. I kind of look forward to that. It's taking place on Cybertron, so that should be interesting. We'll see how that goes. I do want to play a sci-fi RPG online over Skype sometime next year. That is a main thing, and hopefully it'll have mechs in it. Does that count?
Yes.
Also,
how would you do that?
RPG? You just
No. When you said hopefully have mechs, would you do
Well, Lancers, that's a mech RPG. It would be something like that, I assume.
But to have like an MMO kind of thing where...
No, I'm saying like...
do like battles.
No, this is like RPG. Like, just playing role-playing game. Just us playing role-playing games over Skype.
No, I know, I get that.
Okay.
Mechs in it, and I was thinking you were going to combine a game of Battletech in with the role-playing specs.
They do have the Battletech role-playing game, but I don't know. That's what, once again, we need a good role-playing game. Gonna check out that Robotech one, gonna check out the others. Who knows what's gonna happen? It doesn't even have to be those, because also Expanse role-playing games is coming out soon, which is gonna be sweet. Mm-hmm. And the last thing I want is a special request to Mantic Games, and this is going out to Ronnie. I'll never hear it because I think he hates mechs. I want a G.I. Joe / Transformers miniature game. I would die for that. That'd be the best. It could even be in 15mm scale, because then you could do the Transformers alright size, and even have the G.I. Joes a little lower, smaller scale. But, man, I would love that.
Only to make fumbles.
Fumbles?
Have you not seen that Robot Chicken?
No, probably a long time ago.
I'm posting it on the mobile arm radio just
right now. Yes. So, but it's once again Hasbro is notoriously hard to license from. But My Little Pony has a RPG, so it's possible. That's a Hasbro product. So that's Ronnie. Get on it, man.
It's all you, Ronnie.
Hellboy's done with. Walking Dead's over. We need a new license, and this is it. Even in England, it's Action Force, and Transformers are huge in England. Transformers comic books, get the comic book license from IDW, man. That's the way to go. Too bad Dark Horse doesn't do the Transformers games. There'd be a good chance of it happening then. Because Dark Horse loves Mantic right now.
Transformers by Mike Mignola.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Sweet.
Actually, I'd love to see that picture now you say that. Or G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe by Mignola? That'd be nice. Yeah. Well, that's me. Brian, what do you got in the future? What do you want to see happening?
Oh, man. Pretty much agree, wholeheartedly with everything you guys have said. I'd love to see more more tabletop games come out that are mecha related, especially like those that are of like the Gundam flavor, where a lot of us already have maybe the models that we'd be playing with, or something similar. I really like the idea of doing an online over Skype version of Lancer or another RPG like that. So leave a comment in the sections below if you want us to record those episodes and watch us make fun times rolling fake dice or real dice. But definitely to kind of come back to the video game side of things, I would love to see a return. Well, maybe not necessarily a return, but I would love to see more kind of real type mecha games that are more in that kind of third person, like you're controlling the robot. Right now, like the tactical ones are really big, and it's a great mechanic for playing those games. But I always remember running around in this Japanese only game of Gundam 0081 Battle Report, and it was very much real robots stomping around. You felt like the 8th team wandering through the jungle, getting shot at from above and everything like that. I just feel like we don't see as many of those kind of games anymore from a AAA studio. And I know that's kind of a it's a difficult industry seemingly right now.
If it's not a first-person shooter, it doesn't sell, it seems like now. It has to be an online first-person shooter that has loot boxes. So unless you have those things, you're not.
Did you say loot boxes?
Yeah,
he did. And the interesting thing with that is that's loot crates are being taken to U.S. court.
Yeah.
There's movements to address them as
child
gambling.
Yeah.
So
does that include Gundam loot?
No, this is in-game stuff.
Yeah.
Where
in-game,
you pay a certain amount of money and then they drop a box and you have to hope that you get what you want.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, right now they kind of get away with it being that they disclose the percent chance that you'll get the thing. I think is the only requirement that they have, and I feel like that's going to be changing in the near future.
And that's pretty flimsy, since the percent chance of winning a blackjack game, the percent chance of winning craps. It's the same idea. It's just it's chance. So it's gambling.
Is chance. But we've got pretty strict regulations on gambling in the United States.
But even lotteries, you know what the chance of winning a lottery is? Kids can't play lotteries.
Yeah. But it's a landscape that's changing pretty dramatically, I see, in the next few years. But I would love to see some big studios kind of take a chance on either an existing mecha franchise like another Gundam game in that style, or I know I like MechWarrior itself kind of has spun off into an online game. I think Titanfall is still around.
MechWarrior Online is first person though.
MechWarrior Online.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. And MechWarrior 5's coming out this year too, so. But that's first person. You want third top down kind of, or 3/4 view kind of.
Yeah. And that kind of third person over
They don't really make those
like,
kind of games much anymore, do they? It's like you say, it's more tactics now. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, it's a thing that comes and goes as trends do, and what become, what's popular and whatnot. But I'd also love to see the same kind of thing happen in the movie side of things. We've had quite a few big blockbusters now in that sci-fi genre, bringing in giant robots and stuff. We've had Pacific Rim and its sequel. We've had things like Edge of Tomorrow, which had mecha, power suits and stuff like that.
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, Iron Man. The whole Marvel cadre there, where it was all robot power suits for a good chunk of it. If you think about it, like half of those Marvel movies have some kind of robot in them.
Yep.
And just kind of crazy things like that. Movies are probably a bit more willing to take a chance. I mean, the Bumblebee movie was pretty successful as well.
Yeah, it's almost guaranteeing a new Transformers movie for sure.
Yeah.
It was actually fairly good too.
Yeah, it was.
That's what I heard.
Other than John Cena.
Oh, he's campy in it. I like John Cena in it, actually.
He's horrible in it.
No, he's super campy. He's just like...
Not campy, he's just horrible.
I like the whole time he's just like, why are we trusting these people, like, the Decepticons? It's in their name! They're called Decepticons! But, also, we got the Gundam movie coming out, theoretically. We have Robotech, theoretically, coming out. They just announced a live-action, Akira by 2021, so we got a lot.
Did that guy ever get his funding for that?
I don't know who was funding what, but it's what's his name?
It's supposed to be Taika Waititi?
Yeah, he announced it, yeah.
The guy who did Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
Because there was a guy trying to fund it. He was in Supernatural.
Oh, I'm not sure. I know Leonardo DiCaprio owned the rights for a long time for that movie. But a lot of anime movies coming out, so I think it is a time where we might get more super robots in Amazing movie or something.
Yeah, and I mean, even Alita did all right in the box office.
Yeah,
the Ultraman
TV show,
Netflix one was really good.
Netflix has been really good about being a place where they could really test the waters with new creative projects.
Yeah, I mean, the new Voltron was good.
Yeah,
New Voltron was great.
And they do the interesting things like that Death, Love, and Robots. And also new Transformers is going to be on Netflix too. I think they're willing to show older ones, and they see how many people... They have like instant ratings, so they know how many people watch each show. So when they see shows like Code Geass get tons of views, all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, well, we could finance this, it'll get more views, we'll get more money. And I think they realize that anime is getting a lot of views on their thing, so it's something to put money into. We don't have to wait for rating systems anymore, or hope box office can be ruined. Look at, like, things like Hellboy, and box office is ruined by one bad review. Like, like, I haven't seen Hellboy yet, I don't think it is good, but a lot of people liked it. But I think it would really turn people off right away when all the bad reviews came out, and you don't go then. That's why I didn't go, so. It's one of those things where I think box office isn't a good indication of how good a movie is, and even Alita, like, that should have done much better, and right now it's getting a huge thing where people are saying it's the most underrated movie that came out last year. Everybody said it just never got what it should have gotten. But, so I think Netflix.
Man, I can't wait to watch it again.
yeah. Well, me too. I can't wait to watch it in the first place. But it's things like that where it's maybe not big enough for a big budget movie, but it's definitely big enough for a Netflix show or a Netflix movie. So, and we got some good Netflix movies, live action ones too, like, so, sci-fi. So, hopefully it'll continue.
They've been great for our kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I think Robot Jox is about due for a reboot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one. That'd be a fun one to come back.
And Gunhead.
And Gunhead, yeah.
Gunhead. and so, like, one of the last ones I'll kind of throw out there that I'd love to see more, because I kind of keep coming back to it, is I'd love to see more kind of fantasy giant mecha shows.
Yeah. That's something that seems to be neglected, yeah.
Yeah, I know there's been a couple kind of here and there. I haven't been able to catch all of them, but I feel like ExFil.End has kind of been between that and maybe the Samurai 7 are kind of the two big ones that stand out, and then there's just not much else in that same kind of vein. So I'd love to see something like that make a resurgence. It doesn't have to be, a reboot of ExFil.End by any means, but I really think that's an underserved and unique space that could be really, really interesting to dive into. And I mean, steampunk is certainly a genre that has really carved out a niche for itself and been growing in fun ways. So also, I don't think it's a bad concept by any means.
No, that's for sure. You can add mechs to anything. It's great, but I'd also love to see a like Firefly, like futuristic cowboy kind of thing, but also have like that kind of stuff in it. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Like I love Trigun, that anime series, and yeah, so in that I think those kind of shows you have a little bit of humor and a little bit of cowboys and a little bit of mechs. That's all you need.
It is kind of funny looking back at those shows, like from the late '90s, and you compare like their heroes in there to a lot of the ones we get today. And boy, were our heroes back in the '90s like complete idiots sometimes.
That was the best thing about Vash. He was just the worst.
Like they'd have their moments where they like were really cool. But other times they're just bumbling around, they're making weird faces, they're doing stupid stuff.
Well, that's the best thing about him is he was actually really good. He just was so stupid that he didn't realize how good he was, or he thought he was better than he was really. And it was the side characters who actually just saved the day all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's like Inspector Gadget right there.
Right. So so many heroes these days are very self-serious. And
yeah.
They can't do anything goofy. I'm like, man, we grew up on that kind of stuff all the time. Anyway, that pretty much sums up most of what I'd like to see in the future. I think flying cars would be pretty sweet. I know the FAA is actually testing out with NASA, working with NASA to test out automated drone traffic controlling. In Reno, I guess.
What does that mean?
Basically they are, they're basically building roads in the air. So that drones that can do like parcel delivery, emergency medical equipment delivery, things like that.
Can be shot out of the sky by unruly teenagers like myself.
Maybe. Maybe.
I mean, for God's sakes, we have kids throwing boulders over overpasses and killing people.
Yeah, but it's still illegal.
Yeah, what I'm saying, what more now when you basically putting flying targets in the sky.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have to have some kind of.
There'll be some interesting legal arguments that come out of this, because there have been people that have been shooting down drones that people, go over their property or whatever for, either benign or nefarious reasons. And so far the government has come down by saying, it's like, you don't own the airspace above your property, so what you did was illegal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. It's the future's coming.
Real world robot stuff that's going to be going on here. It's pretty neat. We're not quite to the giant robots yet, but I think we'll build up to them.
Have you seen the video of that robot who's trying to like do simple office tasks and it just starts destroying the office? That's my favorite kind
I worked in a hospital where they had the pharmacy had what I used to call the R2 unit, and it would actually go down the hall, call for an elevator, and drop the medicines off in each unit.
Oh, neat. Little R2 helping out.
Yeah, and then if you got in its way, it would say, please move. Please move.
And then it would whip out its taser.
Yeah.
I said move. It's a lot nicer than the nurses. They would just hip check you.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got some really neat, real world stuff that's happening, I think, as well as our entertainment. So, but I think with that wraps up the MechBay Hanger and 1 full year of Mobile Armor Radio.
Save it for the ExFil.
Yeah. So let's head there now.
Let's ExFil out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Yep, and now we're at the ExFil, the last segment of our show where we bid you all farewell and a good night and all that kind of fun stuff.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Adieu to you and you and you.
I knew that was coming.
So yeah, thank you all for checking out the the show again, and for being with us for this full year. Man, the time flies.
Yes, thanks very much for sticking with us for a full year. As crazy and distangent and ridiculous as we get, I hope you guys find it entertaining at least.
Yep. And you guys are awesome too. Like it's been really, really amazing to see this community kind of develop around the show, and people are just coming and posting their creations or projects or games that they love. We love sharing that kind of stuff with everybody.
Yeah, it's great times. You can go to the Facebook group, Mobile Armor Radio. You can go to our Discord. All the links are all over the place. They'll be on the post here. And come enjoy all the interaction, because that's the real fun of it. Us yammering on for an hour or so a month is just the catalyst for the interaction on these sites. So social media.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so, if you'd like to see anything in particular in next year's show, feel free to drop us a line and shoot us a message. If you have any stories you'd like to share, by all means, leave comments below. Check out that offshoot show where Rob and Pat are reviewing the Transformers comics. Leave comments there.
Yes. Also, below on this post, let us know what you want to see in this upcoming year, because I'm sure you have better ideas than we do.
Yeah, that would be nice. We also check out our YouTube channel. I do some other, hoping these other guys will step up, but
nah, we're leaving that to you, Pat. You got it. You got it done. You got it down to a science. So
check out some unboxings and gameplays.
Yeah, maybe at Gen Con we can get a game of something in. We'll record it.
Yeah.
That's a record plays.
Yeah, again, if you're going to be at Gen Con, come by booth 835, the Mantic booth. Say hi to me and Rob.
Yep, I'll be the one chained to a desk. I don't know what game I'll be forced to play until I don't like to play it anymore, but
yeah.
We'll see how it is.
All right. Well, with that, I've been Brian.
I've been Chopper.
I'm still Rob.
Have a great night, everybody.
Oh boy.
See you next year. And not in the actual year, but in the year as in the next season of the show.
Season 2.
Season
coming
2.
Next month.
Yes. The Reckoning.
The Reckoning.
Season 2 Electric Boogaloo, that's what it is.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Mech Boogaloo.
Gotta name that next episode that. Gotta remember that, people.
Mech Electric.
Mech Boogaloo.
Bye-bye.
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter at @MArmorRadio. Find us on iTunes and visit our website, mobilearmorradio.podbean.com. Join us on the first of every month for more Mecha discussion.
I'm ready to go. I'm recording, so anytime.
Oh, smokes.
Anytime.
I moved my microphone.
I fell. Oh, God. Call 911, my hip.
I was hoping I'd get it done before Brian started talking.
Yeah. All right, we're going to leave that part in.
I think I got a bug in my eye now.